Hello. We're back again today. I don't anticipate there'll be too many. I know a lot of my friends are streaming today too, because, well, it's Friday night. But we're not doing anything exciting. So I will, actually I guess before we start actually streaming, and when some other people pop in, I might show this off later too. Although I did show it off on X, so most people have already seen it. But so I finished this guy off stream. So he's basically all done. I might do a little bit of edits on the hair because he actually does have like a gray patch. It's not just lighting, he actually does have a bit of an ashy patch on his bang. But that's not important. That's for a project that is not going to be done anytime soon. I told my goal was to have it done by like April of this year. But after a certain point, especially with my health, I'm like, this isn't getting done. But I reached a point that I was comfortable with. What we're doing instead today, as I put that project on hold again, is we're actually going to be working on basically some clip arts, for lack of a better word, of my model for me to use in thumbnails. Because that's one of the things, I obviously don't have the money to hire an artist to make custom thumbnails, but I've also kind of gotten sick of just reusing the same still images of myself, of my model, and I want it to look a little bit better. And so I still might use some custom models now and then, but I want to get a few. At least a handful of malleable models for different situations. Like, the one we're going to start with is this one, for no particular reason other than that's the first one that came to mind. This little Wojak pointing meme. But I'm going to draw a little to illustrate my point. I want to do... I forget if it was like, wait, why isn't this... Why... Oh, I see why. It's because of that. Alright, we're not crazy. I'm not crazy. But... I want to do one of the memes, I think it was from Kronk, of the guy who's like running and his arms are like super angular like that. I can use that for like horror vids. I want to do one that's like Link getting an item from a chest. Like that. And you know, just some other like situational ones. Like obviously I can do poses for my, and oh yeah, like I want to do like a thinker pose. And that one also works because I can depending on how I do it, I can be like suspicious, or I could be like genuinely inquisitive. So I could change expressions too. I could also do like an angry one. Basically designed to showcase a range of emotions. But you know, once we get to some of the ones like the running one and the hands one, some of those are going to be more difficult. And most of them are just going to be meme images, if I'm being honest. Maybe one of like the meme of like a panicked. That's the other thing, too, is for some of these, like I mentioned the inquisitive ones, some of them we can actually just manipulate the expression a bit, and potentially get some different things in there. So, you know, like satisfied, happy, excited, stuff like that. There's different potentials. And I think that's mainly the goal, is even if we just do like sort of standing images that are very basic, pushing the limits of my model, like for example, this one. I'm gonna undo this, but if I were to just like an easy thing of like, yay, you know, showcasing a range of expressions. Really getting some like squash and stretch cartoon action. Because I was able to do that with my model. Like, see, I'm smiling. And you can tell that I'm smiling with my eyes. And I was able to do, I'm pretty, even though my model is obviously very amateur, I'm still very happy with the range of emotion I was able to capture despite not having a face. But we're gonna push that even further. So like actually getting like, actually get the, like, Shock Pikachu. Except it wouldn't be, there's no mouth, so it's just eyes. But really testing the limits of how far we can emote with just eyes and no pupils. But that's also why we can get things like you know, sweat droplets. Anime vein throbbing. Angry eyes. Or, like, making one getting the rock eyebrow in there. Stuff like that. Really giving ourselves a range of expressions and poses. Yeah, there probably does need to be an uwu. You can do like... No, wait, hold on. It needs to be higher. Oh whoa. Oh whoa, oh whoa, oh whoa. So that's the thing, I don't know how long this project is going to be. I'm hoping it's not going to be too long, but realistically it probably will be. It probably will be. It also makes me grateful with my old PNG, because it can help with some of the dimensions. So, without further ado. So you see the vision. So you see the vision. This can also be practice. I've heard people have asked me like whether I would ever consider remaking my model. And the answer is, would I consider it? Yes, obviously. But it's not on the docket. I'm also just... The perspective on this is going to be a bit interesting. In fact, let's do this first. Let's do this first. This is going to be like a really weird... Watch as I artistically break down this Wojak. Because the perspective on this is actually a bit odd. Because his shoulder like ends there. Artistically breaking down the Wojak. This is unintentionally hilarious. See, that's not even right. It might seem ridiculous, but this is actually very helpful. So I think... It also helps that these are based on real people, so... I actually should have it a little centered. Just because this isn't the thumbnail, right? So once I actually make the thumbnail, then I can, like, put my guy over here-ish. But we want to give ourselves as much leeway as possible. It's funny, I saw a post from a guy earlier today, and I think it's really true. He said, that when drawing, women are made of very complex shapes, whereas men are made of very simple shapes but have more definition to them, and I think it's very true. So when I draw a female character, I spend most of the time on trying to make sure that the anatomy is correct. That takes most of the time, is making sure that all of the curves are where they're supposed to be and it all lines up correctly. Whereas with a man, you just put a square and a triangle and you're done. And then your main focus is on making that shape three-dimensional. Is there a variety of shapes? Some have more curves than others. Yeah. Well, even aside from human variety, you know, we're talking about ovals on top of triangles, on top of squares, on top of triangles, on top of circles, on top of ovals. It is compared to the... If you look at like a how to draw and you see the male drawing versus the female drawing, there's a stark difference. So hopefully... My only thought is... I think that shape is like... Yeah, that's better. The proportions on this are really funny, because it looks like I'm drawing a toddler. Look, Daddy, look! Daddy, look at the thing! Look at the thing! Oh no! I have to stay in the void! What have I done? I have been abandoned by God and man! Oh no, I got rid of the other reference! I should get the other reference back. I'm gonna lose my voice! Oh, whoops. It's a good thing I caught that. Uno momento, por favor. Let me get my other reference. Daddy, no. That voice is actually healing. Why does healing hurt? Why does healing hurt? You're the one who did this! You did this to me! You did this! Take responsibility! Yeah, it's probably been 5 minutes, so I'm gonna quit out of that. It's fun when you like sit down to draw, and then you feel like you've forgotten how to draw. Like, wait, how do I do this again? think it'll actually help me if I do this first. I think this will actually help me. Let me look up some quick references, just to make sure I have the angle on this correct. You know what? I made a mistake. I have a Crusader helmet that my wife gave me. I don't have it with me. So I wouldn't even need to pull up a reference. I could just hold it in my hands like it was the skull of Yorick. Just hold it in my hands like Yorick's skull. Yeah, actually, let's delete this. And let's do this instead. Because I got the head shape of the... freaking Wojak. But I need to get my actual head shape. So, let's start with this. Does that make sense? It's gonna curve a bit by the end, but it's actually not. It's not a... I can do that. This is actually like an incredibly difficult angle to draw. Mostly just because maybe I might have had the right idea the first time. Yeah, okay. Wait, no, I want to keep that. The back half there is actually kind of what I need. This is the problem. The back is more rounded, but this is angular. Okay, if this is off. It's gonna go down to around there. Hmm. Doing something wrong here. I think maybe it might just be that the angle on the helmet is too severe. Like, 'cause this needs to be like slightly going out, but not quite. Actually, yeah, it is also like going around the back of the head too. Of course, that's more like a bucket. Hmm. I know this isn't a perfect match, I just kind of want to use it as a reference. Hmm. This might have all been a mistake. It's like, I feel like here's the other thing. This here was traced. I traced that when I first did it. My actual model was not traced, but I did use references. Here, maybe this will help. If I do... Actually, that needs to be slightly higher up. Because it goes all the way up to the brow. And then at the brow is when it begins to go in. Also means... I'm gonna do this just to help me visualize. Literally just the most basic little doodle. help me get a vibe. Ooh, already I like that better. That's too long. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. Obviously, we're gonna add some detail, and I want to experiment a little bit with art styles. Maybe doing like some thicker line art. But yeah, that's the head shape. We got that. And if we want, we can sort of superimpose this. Mostly because I just want to get a feel for where I should put the eyes. Because this little doodle actually did help. But because the eyes are going to need to be... Yeah, so we'll do some work to make that more expressive, but that's... Ugh. One of the things they don't tell you about art is when you look at something that's only half done, and you're like, ugh, this is terrible, I want to quit right now. Like, no, trust the process, it's okay. Trust the process. It's okay. Ooh, yeah, I like that better. It's a more human shape. So let's try this. So it actually needs to be more like this. Because the helmet, it's very slight, but it does have a little bit of a lip. So if I were to draw it from the side, that's the top. And that's the top. And then it's not like that, but it's like... It's like that, see? It's a bit straighter in the back, and then moves like that around, see? That's how it looks from the side. So that's good. So that's why I'm actually gonna move this into a second layer. Excuse me. So we can actually like, ooh, yeah, I like that. That might be the best we can do. That's alright. We'll doll it up, make it look real good. Till then, I'm gonna use the bathroom, and we'll be right back in a few minutes. So, grab a snack, use the bathroom, do whatever you gotta do. Be right back. I'm pretty happy with what we have, but I do want to experiment with different line works. Like, we're doing pencil right now, but I'd be curious to try. We could try thick pencil, but we could also try ink pen. I really do want to kind of go for like that YouTube thumbnail look, you know? I don't know how to describe it, but I think everyone knows what I mean when I say that. And I know, well, on a certain level, I know why it looks like that. It looks like that because it's, you know, pretty cheap. It's pretty quick for artists to make. But even if in principle, oh, I'm doing this in the wrong layer. Even if in principle it's motivated by being cheap, that is the look that I want to go for. I need to erase that line. That line in the middle there is also going to be erased at some point. We'll probably trace over the whole head. We'll probably trace over the whole head, because... Drawing in the wrong layer again. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Stupid. No, I'm not. Plus 9 plus 10. 21. By all means, please continue thinking of this as just an extension of the sketch phase. Is that really that actually is what it is. Turn my line guiding all the way up so I can match this angle. I'm right-handed, so it's easier for me if I start here. Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's not perfect, but it's good. Why do I feel like I kind of look like... No, it's not Batman I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of, what's his name? The Arkham Knight? It might have been his name. Oh, whoops, I did that in the wrong layer again. Because I'm very intelligent. Wrong layer. Let me just go ahead and fix this. This is the phase where I start having to say, it's just a draft, Wesley. It's just a draft. Just a draft. Doesn't have to look good, it's just a draft. But I don't know if this is counterintuitive, but for some artists, but for me, what usually helps when I reach that stage is actually just adding color. If I have sketch or line art that just doesn't look all that good, typically adding color makes me feel better about it. Actually, wait, I can make this real easy on myself. Excuse me? Why did it do that? Well, that's not closed in all the way, that's why. Actually, chin part of the cross seems a little off. Yeah, well, it's not. Still a draft. It's still a draft. It's still a draft. It's not directed at you. That's directed at me. It's still a draft. But let's actually go ahead and just start. Yeah, I can probably round off that chin a bit too. That'll probably help. So Actually, that needs to be longer, but the shape is right. Actually, let me look up my armor. I'm just gonna pull her up on my other monitor. Oh, I see. Alright, yeah. Ooh, that does make, like, a big question. It's like, what are the actual proportions of all this? Because the thing is, even though my character is a bit top-heavy, and I actually want to exaggerate that a bit with some of these. Maybe not all of them, but I want to really exaggerate that. Like, this is a pretty big, like, breastplate here. Here, we can do that for now. I actually think I messed up the proportions on this a little bit. Because the thing is, this is the closest part to the camera, you know? Actually, wait, it's more like that. Yeah, that's about right. Bum bum ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-dum bum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum dum da dum dum dum. Okay, yeah, this is coming together. This is coming together. The eyes and stuff will need some work, but yeah, this is coming together nicely. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what the hand pose is, basically. Ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Sorry, now I gotta look at, like... I gotta look at like how the thumb joints meet. I think the actual answer to this conundrum is that I'm putting too much detail on the hand and it needs to be squashed. Like that, see? Come on. Yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, I think that's what I want. It's way too big, but I think the perspective is right, and I also want there to be like attention called to the hand. Yeah, I like this. I like this. I like this a lot. Okay. Let's get rid of some of this clutter. So I can get a better look at what we're dealing with. Of course I put that in the wrong layer. Let me fix that. Alright, let's get to work. You know, it was funny. I was talking with my wife before stream started. And I told her, I said, I don't know how long this is going to take because, you know, typically projects like this can take up to, up to 4 hours or more. But also, I have a lot of practice drawing armor, and historically, I've been able to do it very quickly. This is one of those days. Get out of here. I'm not gonna fuss too much over this right now. Especially once we get to like the actual shading, a lot of that will be covered up or taken away. I might need to move that whole, like, shoulder arm to the side. Yeah, that looks better. That looks better. Let's move this to the side. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, it was funny. I saw an art meme the other day. It was basically about, like, the two kinds of digital artists. The guy on the left is, like, practicing every day, sketching and drawing over references, and the second guy is just, like, just vibes, doesn't use references, still comes out good somehow. And it's like, I don't have a dog in that fight, but I definitely feel like a lot of people don't understand. Maybe it's because they're coming from regular art, but the whole point of digital art is that if you do something wrong, you can just hit undo. Because that's what I do, is I draw a line, and if I don't like it, I undo it, and then I draw another line. Rinse and repeat until you have what you want. Does this need to go further left? Well, maybe that's not the issue. Maybe the issue is it needs to be bigger. Yeah, I think that's the issue, is the perspective. I moved it, and moving it was the right choice, but the perspective got warped. Because if I move it closer to the left, then I also need to make it bigger. Yeah, this goes hard. I love this. We might not finish today, but even if we don't, anything after today will just be detail work and tweaking and experimenting. So what time is it anyway? 10:30? We got time. I ain't got a bedtime. Actually, I don't even think you can... The way it's angled, I don't think you should be able to see... Yeah, I don't even think you should be able to see the neck part, except maybe just a little bit. Yeah, like that's good, I think. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I think this is basically what we want. So, since this is actually a really good sketch of what we're looking for, we're gonna take another quick break because I'm drinking the drink that makes you piss. Yum. It runs right through me. But then when we come back, we can actually experiment with some different types of line work. This is actually a really good foundation. Because the only thing, I'm actually gonna do this. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of the eyes, because the eyes are gonna be changed. That was just this really gives you an idea of what we're talking about. And yeah, that's it. This is what we want. The only thing I'm unsure about is like that little... No, I think that little piece of neck works. I just might need to change the angle a bit. Anyway, I'm thinking too much. Be right back. Sounds of love. Hey. Hey, YouTube. Twitch is still in ads right now. We'll get back to it. There's things we can experiment with, but what I mainly want to try right now is I want to try experimenting with different types of line work. So... keep in mind, this is not in any way permanent, we're just experimenting. Let's half the thickness on this. Probably to lower the guidance a little bit. I got so used to drawing with it on, it felt weird to take it off. Just gonna bump it up a bit. See, like, I have mixed feelings about something like that, but granted, all of the detail right now is in pencil. So if I were to do if I were to redo these details in this style, I might feel differently. Let's try with this pencil. Too big. Much too big. So that's kind of a middle ground. I think I prefer this style more between the two if I were forced to choose. I didn't even get all the way through. I just got part way through. I'm like, yeah, that ain't it. That ain't it. Let's try this pen, because I know this one has a more realistic feel. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same. I can't notice a difference. So let's do this. What if I lowered this down to like 5? No, it doesn't work. Oh wait, I'm an idiot. I need to have done all that in a different layer. I think I prefer this already. A thicker line, more cartoon style, as opposed to the more solely anime style that I've been practicing. Because that is something I've been thinking about lately. Not too much, not too much. It doesn't bother me that much, but like sometimes my wife will send me things like, "Oh, look, here's an art thing. This would be great." And I'm like, I've spent the last 2 years practicing a very narrow specialty of a single art style. A single art style. And I really can't do anything else. Oh. This will be another thing, is testing out line thickness. So we're testing out 5.5 is our current brush size. Oh, that's something else I can do, is I can focus on thickening them around the contours. That's an idea. It's funny, she once, sent me like I think it was like a holy card drawing contest. I'm thinking to myself, I'm not sure how I would feel, much less how someone else would feel, if they bought a holy card and it was in like One Piece style. I mean, that could maybe work for someone like Saint Elmo or Saint for Nina, I think. I keep wanting to say Fernandina, but that's not right. That's something completely different. This is also giving me flashbacks. Because I did a lot of drawing as a kid, but I've said before, I stopped because I didn't feel like I was good enough. But one of the few pieces I drew that I actually felt like, wow, that turned out really good, was actually a Pokemon drawing that I made when I was probably like 10 years old. And what I did is I did something very similar to what I'm doing now, where after I sketched it out, and before I added color, because that was another thing that kept happening as a kid, is I always felt like adding color would ruin the piece. But just like what I'm doing now, I went over the line work, and I forget if it was either... It was Sharp... I think it was Sharpie. I think it was like a very narrow Sharpie. And I liked how it turned out. That's what I need to do. I need to, like, just bring this up a little bit. I wish I could say that I wouldn't have to draw too much more at this angle, but I think most of them are actually going to be at this angle, thereabouts. So I'm gonna have to get real good at it. Oh, I see the problem. I made it too large. really be more like that. There we go, that looks better, but I need to fix that. That's the other problem, is that I'm adding too much curve, so it just needs to go like there. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Sure, we'll do this next. Yeah, I like how this is turning out. Da, 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 da. I know in some places it might seem like a downgrade right now, but that's mostly just because we haven't gotten around to adding. It's mostly because we're also getting rid of some of the detail as we're doing this, but it'll all come back. Ooh, whoops. Got a line. Oh, really? Yeah, I guess it's just so saturated I didn't notice. Okay, here, hold on. Here, hold on. Let's make this pretty big. Yeah. Oh no, I kind of like this, but I can add some detail later that'll make it pop a little better. Till then, oh, Ecopsy, welcome. Welcome. Back with the raid. Welcome. You can tell the Neko spy. Excuse me. Pardon my French. Oh, welcome. You can see the. Bet you can't guess the handsome fellow we're drawing today. Yeah, we're doing some. We're working on thumbnail art, actually. There's no point in making it sound more than it is. It's thumbnail art. Oh, looking good so far. Thank you. Let's see, I saw what you guys... Dang, I saw what you guys were doing before I went live, but I didn't actually see what it was. I didn't internalize it. What were you guys playing? World of Warcraft. Ooh, that's fun. Can't say I've ever been a Warcrafter myself, but that does sound like fun. That does sound like fun. a great time. Sure, I'm sure. Let's focus on what I know. I think this metal glare will be a test of my patience. Looks better. The glare on the helmet will be a bit of a doozy, maybe. I might just need a smaller brush, though. Ooh, okay, that looks good. I am gonna have to rain alert to rest, but have an awesome stream and evening. You too, Neko Spy. No, you must stay up. Nah, I get it. It's late. You guys, thank you again for the raid. Oh, you take care, man. What if I do this? Kinda looks good. Kinda. Probably because there shouldn't be as much glare on this side. Yay. Guys, like emotes, we got some fun ones. We got some fun follower emotes. Got Deus Volt. Why isn't it showing me my follower emotes? There they are. We got some fun ones. Chicken is a chat favorite. The emote of the day is currently broken. It was hooked up to my my external hard drive corrupted, and I haven't replaced it. Let me... Why do we cry? Why do we cry tears? Thanks for the follow, Lo-Fi. Welcome. It's currently One Piece Lo-Fi that's playing right now. Happy streaming. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, One Piece me! Yo, dude, same! One Piece me too! It was Persona earlier. Currently in the Jaya arc? Ooh, the Jaya arc is one of my favorites. It's a short one, it's one of my favorites, though. I love Jaya. Jaya is a good one. Yeah, Jaya is one of my favorites. I like the big monkey. Monkey. No, why am I blanking on his name now? A Cricket is one of my favorite characters. He's a shadow favorite for me. Yeah, he's a shadow favorite for me, even though he don't really go nowhere. Yeah, spoiler, he does not join the crew. I was going manga only for a while, but I recently played One Piece just to see how good an edit it is. Yeah, I will say, in my humble opinion, One Piece is not really necessary until you get to the second half of the series. That's my opinion. There are people who would disagree with me pretty harshly on that, but... I think the pacing in the first half of the series is fine. Good? No, but I mean it's fine. I don't find it offensive personally. And the thing is, I'm a relatively new viewer too. I didn't start watching until I think it was not 2016, 2017. So for a series that's almost 30 years old, that's relatively recently. So it's not even nostalgia. I just don't feel like it's that bad. I just started last year. Yeah. Yeah, one pre-time skip is more filler, while post has worse. That is exactly right. That is exactly right. That is exactly right. It's something that people... Everyone complains about the filler arcs until you don't have them anymore, and the pacing dies. The pacing takes a nosedive because of it. But no, that's right. They got rid of filler, and so they had to pad out the time somehow, and they padded out the time in some of the worst ways they could have. So... like, when I started watching through with my wife, I told her, like, yeah, we'll watch it normally up to a certain point, but then once we get to the time skip, yeah, we're yeah. Real quick, what's the current track playing? I'm hearing this song all over YouTube. This one? This is Mother C. You know what? I'm going to do this again, but I'm not going to try so hard on the shading. I'm just going to be very... keep it simple. I think I'm trying too hard. Yeah, I've been hearing it in so many memes. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. No, One Piece has some good tracks. Nope, trying too hard again. Just thumbnail art. Doesn't have to be the most realistic. In fact, let's do this. One Piece was mentioned, I forgot I was gonna leave, but now I gotta go. Yeah, get some sleep, Lo-Fi. But thank you, thanks for stopping by. No, I'm the same way. You can get me talking One Piece all day. No, have a good sleep. You gotta keep it simple. It's just thumbnail art. Besides, we're not just drawing a suit of armor, right? We're drawing a character, so even if it's not technically correct, it's peak. Think Sake. Even if it's not necessarily correct. We have to keep it consistent. Oh, making it look like a bra. Which... maybe I should have started with... in fact, let's do that now. I should have done that first. That's alright. This is making me laugh now. It's making me laugh now. This is ridiculous. But if it's getting to the point where it's making me laugh, that means it's coming along well. It's really funny actually. How it almost looks like the right arm is just has a lower resolution. It's really funny. Man, my nose itches so bad. Why? Dang it. Not now. The other good part about putting this all in layers is that if I ever decide I don't like it, I can come back and I can redo it. At any point in the future. Let me look at my own reference again. Yeah. Oh, that's why it looks so low definition. I'm missing an arm. I'm missing an arm here. No wonder. Now what we can do. I haven't forgotten the bow tie, although admittedly that is kind of a low priority. Hold on. It's real easy. Oh, also I need to delete this. What is that? That's that. Okay. Going well, I think. Also, I think I want to lower the brightness a bit. There we go. Back to take a peek. Let's see what you're working on. I'm all right there in front of you for reference. The eyes are big, yeah. He really needs you to see. He really needs you to see. Bro is shook, yeah. Because I can even experiment with, like... Actually, would this work? If I did, like, that doesn't really work. Me... Yes, on that one. Let's make that bigger. Make it big. This is turning out really well. Very blonde match definitely doesn't work though, yeah. Well, because I was experimenting with the eyes here. I'll find the layer. Potentially, like, doing that, but I don't think it works. Excuse me? Yeah, and I was saying, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about some of the shading, but the good news is that anything I don't like, I can just do again later. You know, it's very... I can just go back and edit this whenever I need to. Especially since it's... I made sure it was all in different layers, so... So for example, if I ever want to edit the shading or make the lines thicker or something like that, I can always do that. And very easy to do. How do I feel about that? I think I prefer it that way. It's a bit iffy, but Honestly, we really only just need a little bit of coloring, and then I think we'll be more or less done. I guess we do need to do something with the chainmail. Let's do this. No. Don't love that. Alright. We're not quite done. However, it is getting late. Late enough that I think I've got to tap out. We've been going for 2.5 hours, and it's 11:30. 11:40. But I am happy with how this is turning out. Yeah. And you know what else? Every time we draw one of these, the next one becomes even easier. Every time we draw one of these, the next one becomes easier. So, because most of what I spent time on was trying to get the shading down, and that'll come a bit more naturally as time goes on. Shading metal is hard. Especially since I don't want to worry about the shading too much, since it's, you know, a cartoon character. In that sense, I wonder how much shading I even want to do. You know? Think it needs a little shine? I'll tell you what. We can share the shine with Zaf, who's still live. He's doing RV there yet. That should be fun. I always need, whenever I want to raid him, I always have to go directly to his page and copy and paste, because that's how his name is. But it was a good stream. A good day, I think. And hopefully there'll be more of these to come, because I don't want moss to start growing on this rolling stone. But I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Hopefully not too terribly long. Bye-bye.